Hey guys, another beautiful day in the canyons, and Zach and I have brought out $350,000 worth of sports cars to play with. I've got a Porsche 911 Turbo S, and he's got an SRT Viper.
Yeah, except you didn't bring a sports car.
Brought a 911. Turbo S is the fastest 911 you can buy right now.
100% true, but it's not a sports car.
What?
I'll show you. Here's my argument of why the Porsche Turbo S is not a sports car. Because it can do everything. A sports car is one thing. It is a focused thing. That car is simultaneously a Bentley, a Camry, a snowmobile, and a race car. And if it's all those things, it's almost too good to be classified as one thing. When you walk up to the Viper, you gotta be awake. You gotta know what you're getting into. Your senses are alert. I don't even use the radio because I wanna pay attention and kind of feel and hear this thing. The Porsche is so comfortable, you can get in it, think about anything else, take a phone call, have a meeting, and still rip down a 2.8 0 to 60. I think a sports car should require you to compromise a few things, be it comfort or ride quality or miles per gallon. There should be some issues with it because mistakes are the interesting parts of life. If everything is perfect, nothing is interesting.
A couple months back, I finally reviewed the 991 Carrera S, and it was everything that everyone said it was. It was amazing in many, many ways. And you can go watch that film right now by clicking the annotation. I'll wait. And we're back. Okay, so start with that car, build on it. We got all-wheel drive. We got twin-turbo 3.8 liter engine making a monster 560 horsepower and 517 pounds of torque at just 2,100 RPM, pushing 17.5 pounds of boost with another 2.2 pounds available on overboost if you're going flat. I do like the Dodge Viper. It's got a bunch of endearing qualities. It's got a lot that I like about a car. So why am I not driving that instead of this? Because it's just not comfortable. This is comfortable. These seats are amazing. The position is great. The greenhouse is open, airy. This even has a sunroof. And with the adjustable suspension, I could absolutely daily it. No problem. No question this could be an only car. The Viper, there's no way that could be an only car. I wouldn't even want that as a second car. That's a third car.
Now, Matt is gonna say that the Porsche 911 Turbo S is better than this car. And that's because it's $200,000. So if you think about it, if someone gave you a Viper and $60,000, that's better than them giving you a Viper.
It's expensive. This is a $180,000 car base. As tested, this one's almost $200,000. So you could buy a Viper and a daily driver, a nice daily driver, for the price of this. That's if you wanted two cars. If you don't, if you want one car, I would be happy with just this.
Let's talk about the Viper for a little bit. The Viper is a very cool looking car. It's got very classic proportions, long hood, short deck, tight cabin. It looks like a race car. It looks fast, it looks mean, it looks kind of like, you know, move over, I'm gonna kill you. Car makes 640 horsepower at about 6,000 RPMs, 600 foot-pounds of torque at 5,000 RPM. The power band is super broad. I mean, fourth gear, punch it from low speed, and you feel it shove you forward. Second gear is gnarly. So this is supposed to be a tamer Viper. It's got 5-mode traction control, including rain, which I think is kind of funny, because the way this car feels, it would kind of be like having a candle mode on a flamethrower. The gearing in this car is about as long as this recession. Second gear, I think, goes to about 120, and if you put it in sixth, you go to India.
So what does the S give you? Well, it gives you those forged center lock wheels, it gives you ceramic brakes, it gives you 40 extra horsepower, a slightly different front bumper, and a badge. Is that worth $30,000 over the price of the regular turbo? Look, if you got 140 for the turbo, you got 185 for the S. You do. You do. I know you do. What a great section of road. How does it get around this corner? Oh, the grip. There is so much of it. Oh wow, really? Okay, I was just going a lot faster than I thought I was going. That was fast. I don't want to say what it was, but I just surprised myself with that number. 0 to 60, 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds, and that's with anybody driving. Doesn't matter who it is. Cameramen, you get in the car. What'd you do, 2.5 seconds?
2.6.
Our cameraman did 2.6 seconds to 60 in this car. You couldn't do that in a Viper. Even if someone can do 0 to 60 in 3 flat or 2.8 or whatever it is in the Viper, not everyone can do it, and you certainly couldn't do it over and over and over again. This car, you can do launch control hundreds of times in a row, as many times as you want to do launch control, and the car will just take it. I think we need to find out what 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds feels like. So Sport Plus, left foot brake, right foot gas. Here we go. Wow! Whoa, that speedometer climbs fast. That was crazy. That was one of the fastest launches, hardest launches I've ever done in a car.
A sport is not something you should be able to do every day. Okay, even baseball players, who are the laziest people to ever walk onto a grass field, have a part of their game dedicated to stretching. I mean, you could play golf every day, but anything that my grandpa can play drunk is not a sport. Porsche's very own press release calls that car an ultra performance daily driver car and technology showcase. And that is 100% accurate, and I think that that is the definition it needs to be placed in. Ultra performance luxury. And a sports car should be able to do burnouts. Big one! Sports car should be able to do that. I think it's important that a sports car does that. The brakes in this car are amazing. They're 14 inches. You can get optional stop text. This has Brembos. Stopping from 60 is about 101 feet. It's got a 6-speed manual, old school for you children out there. Little notchier than I like. I wish it was a little smoother to engage between gears, but it's still fun. The steering feel in this car is great. You absolutely know what the front tires are doing. It's a nice weight, not too heavy, not too light, quick rack. It feels awesome. It's very loud, obviously. I have never liked the sound of V10s. There's just something about the way they sound. It's not the car's fault, it's my ears. I don't like the way V10s sound that much. But I do like loud cars a lot. And loud is fun. It tells people you're coming, it tells them you're going, it announces your presence. It's like the trumpets before a king.
Let's go into Sport Plus mode. When I hit that button, the rear spoiler extends, the chin spoiler extends downward, giving me more front and rear downforce. The throttle response sharpens up, and the traction control goes into sport mode, giving you more aggressive ride and more aggressive traction control settings. Much as I love driving stick, and I really do, you cannot fault the PDK gearbox. It is probably the best gearbox in the world. It's certainly the best gearbox I've ever used. It does exactly what you want it to do, exactly how you want it to do it. I've never used another paddle shift gearbox that is just like, yes, master.
There's so much grip in this car. I'm not anywhere near the limit. I'm not gonna get anywhere near the limit. I'm not good enough to get near the limit, but it is sticky. It does ride stiff. I mean, even in street mode, even with the longish wheelbase, you feel all the cracks. The dampening is very smart. You can feel it sucks up rollers very nicely, but over little cracks and creases in the road, it transmits all that right through the wheels. The interior is hit and miss. We got a new digital gauge, which is very nice. The wheel's very nice. They've lowered the transmission tunnel so it's easier to shift. The nav works good. The stereo thumps. The interior of this feels kind of like a GTR. Like at $110,000 where this car starts and the GTR starts, totally fair. But when we get in this and it's 140 grand, you just kind of wonder where some of those savings were.
The thing about the Viper is this. It's pretty cool. It's good looking. Actually, I think it's a very good looking car. And it is fun to drive. But they pitch it as sort of this old school, scary, raw thing, right?
Yeah, you can get the same feeling for less.
Yeah.
And that's really the problem with this car.
Or if you wanted to spend that much money, you could buy something older that would appreciate.
That's true too.
You could buy a Pantera. You could buy a 964 911 Turbo 3.6. You could buy something for less money or equal money that would go up in value, as opposed to this, which will go down before it goes up. Neither the Viper nor the 911 Turbo S is a good buy when it comes to an investment in a car. They're both very expensive cars. They're both going to depreciate in the short term. But at least when you get in this car, you feel like your money has gone somewhere. The dual clutch gearbox, the four-wheel steering, the ceramic brakes, the delicious leather and carbon all over the place, the precision, sound and feel, the amazing steering feel, the adjustable suspension. You can go, okay, well, that's where my money went. Then you can skip on the painted key and the dumb stuff, but your money's still going into that motorsport bred technology. In a Viper, there is technology there. There's carbon fiber, there's power to weight ratio, there's stuff like that. But it's not technology that you use, that you feel. And so for 140 grand, I think you could do better. I gotta tell you, this is one of the best cars I've ever driven. And I don't see how it couldn't be a sports car. It has ridiculous performance and it's unbelievably fun to drive. This is perfect to the point of obsession.
Right, and that's why
this car has no sense of humor whatsoever. That car has a sense of humor. You know what I mean?
sense of humor. I think sports cars need to have a sense of humor.
I agree with you that sports cars need a sense of humor.
Right.
Yeah. So then what is the category that the Turbo S is in?
The best thing ever.
Okay, best thing ever.
Ready?
That wasn't, oh my God, you can't
missed.
even do it. It's one,
Like that?
a slate is one good clap. Ready, watch. Slate.